So I'll run you through everything I have going on with the setup and gear, a little bit of a overview of what I'll be doing, and then we'll start over. Hi, I'm Ryan, and I am the marketing side of Little Thai Elephant. We are here today in Newport, Oregon at the family restaurant called Lucky Thai Elephant. We're going to do a lot of food photography today. So I'll show you all of my gear and what we're going to be doing today. Basically food photography from top down, and then maybe like slight top down, shooting from above downward onto the plates so you can see the whole circle. We're shooting on a Nikon today. It's a mirrorless Z6, and we've got a 24 to I believe 120 lens, and so I'll be zooming in a little bit. But my idea today with the aperture, if you're a camera person, is to keep it a little bit dialed down, so that way when I'm shooting top down and I'm focusing on the food, I don't lose the focal range of the plate and napkins and all that stuff. I've got my main light, and then I've got my secondary light that helps kind of fill the shadows, and then I've got this bounce light that's doing the same, because when the light's coming from this way, I've got a lot of shadows falling this way, so they're not extremely harsh and black. I've got this bounce light here bringing a lot of the light back into play, because I'm just bouncing the light everywhere. I have 3 lenses here today, but I'll only be using 2. I'm using the 24 to 105 or 125, something like that. And this is my 50mm prime to get a wider aperture. No filters on the camera today. We're just shooting wide open as we can. Right here, this is kind of like a faux setup. We've got a spoon and all these little props that aren't really going to be the main point of the photo, because obviously the focus is the food. But if I could just get a little bit of the napkin, a little bit of the chopsticks, a little bit of the glass, and we're going to fill this up shortly. And then something else here, and then we've got our elephant here that's kind of like an inspiration for the logo. Some other props just kind of close by if I want to like fit something in. Just kind of depends on what I'm working with, maybe the color of the food to help play with it with the brown color. I might remove the napkin and enter a fork, or I might remove the spoon and move some stuff around. We've got a backdrop here, and this is really just in case I accidentally shoot off the table, so there's something to hold it, or if I decide not to do top down and I want to shoot from pretty much where you are, then I can have a scenario that's all encapsulated in this environment that doesn't look like we're in the middle of a yellow walled restaurant. We did have to iron the tablecloth, we had to iron the backdrop. There's lines everywhere, and so in order to make it look nice and crisp, we did some ironing. This is my chair. This is what I'll be using it to stand on, so I'm going to be shooting top down. So this is my situation. I've got over here my spritz bottle. This is to keep the food looking wet, because sometimes I take my time because the food always looks great when it comes right out of the kitchen, but what it doesn't do is stay that way for long. You're supposed to eat it, but when I'm here taking photos of food, it doesn't stay wet, it gets dehydrated, so I just add a little bit of moisture so that it stays looking fresh like it did out of the kitchen. And then this is the pro tip for all photographers that do food photography, is this is a makeup wedge. It's just foam. And so I'm going to rip this in half, and if I need to prop up a lime or move some of the food to help like showcase what's in the food, I'll just use this, tuck it under, and it moves the food a little bit. I've got my situation over here, so I'm going to be doing a lot of moving around and stuff, but when I need to switch my lens, because I am going to be switching lenses today, I'm going to run over here, grab my 50mm prime, come back over, switch it, and then shoot a different shot. Run back to my gear bag and put it back and switch lenses. Another thing that I need to worry about when I'm shooting is I'll fill up this glass right here with water, but as the condensation comes from the ice and the environment we're in, that water will drip, so I constantly have to lift the glass, wipe the bottom, because if I end up moving this cup, the gray here will end up being wet, and we don't want that in future photos. You have to be kind of aware of everything, fast moving, and it's wild, because once this kitchen starts cooking, then I've got to just be ready for the next plate, the next plate, the next plate. We've got about, I don't know, 20 plates today probably. So let's go ahead and get started with the photography, and I'll check back in soon. chef just came out here and set this plate down, and I have to create an environment. What I've been doing is I grab my water. I've got some water over here. I'll just kind of incorporate, I don't know, whatever it takes to make a scenario. Sometimes these things come and I don't like it and I remove them. So we're just kind of setting some random things up. Just enough to kind of tell a story of like a random atmosphere, plate. We'll be predominantly using top-down photography, but I want to get some additional stuff for Instagram. The idea is to capture only the food, but just the other elements around it can sneak into the corners of the frame. All right, so this is the next dish, and I'm gonna try to intentionally make some scenarios look a little different. So I'm gonna say no chopsticks, maybe a little more minimal, just napkin and glass. And then we'll try. I found that my primary focal range is about 85 to 100. So I just try to frame this to get the dish, the edge of the glass, the edge of the napkin. A little bit of shine on the glass from the light is okay. I actually don't really care for the napkin, or it can have something. So I'll introduce into the frame just a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to eat this with a fork. Just sneak the edge of the fork in there. All right, well, I think that is a wrap for today. Just finished, I think, the last dish. I hope you enjoyed this type of content and maybe learned a thing or two about shooting food photography. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Does it say it's recording?
Yes.
All right, I have to think about how I want to start it now. We're here at Lucky Thai, what is it? We're here today at, okay, so I'll run you through, a bubble in my throat. Run you through what we've got going on.